We don't know exactly when people started dreaming about it for the first time, but we do know that at least since 1886, it has been recorded how middle distance runners have been chasing the goal of running a mile under 4 minutes. However, this seemed highly unlikely and many people considered it an impossible feat, especially since despite the best coaches and the best runners all over the world tried for decades to break through this barrier, this record remained static at 4 minutes 1 second. As a few mile runners started recording better times during the early 1950s though, the so-called experts started predicting what the conditions had to be like in order for a runner to break this time limit, if it was even possible. According to them, the weather had to be perfect. It had to be around 20 degrees Celsius with no wind, and the race had to be on a hard clay track in front of a huge boisterous crowd that could urge the record breaker on to his best ever performance. Yet, this was not the circumstances in which Roger Bannister attempted to break the 4-minute barrier for the mile. The 6th of May 1954 was a cold day. The track was wet, and there was only a crowd of a few thousand people at a small athletics meet in Oxford. Yet, Roger Bannister defied the so-called experts, as well as all those who believed it was impossible for a human being to run a mile under 4 minutes. He did it in 3 minutes 59.4 seconds. What I find the most fascinating about this story, though, is not how he defied all the odds or how he visualized breaking the record beforehand, but what happened next. You see, less than 2 months after Bannister recorded this miracle time, another runner, John Landy, did exactly the same. And within a year, 3 runners broke the 4-minute barrier in a single race. And since then, thousands of athletes have done the same. And the current world record is 3 minutes 43.13 seconds. 17 seconds faster than what Roger Bannister did it in. So the question is, how come so many people have done what everyone thought was impossible since that cold day in 1954? Did athletes suddenly evolve physically into superhuman runners since then? No. What changed was that people suddenly believed it was possible to do what they previously thought impossible. It was the runners' thinking that held them back for years. And when Roger Bannister finally broke through this psychological barrier, many followed. So here's my question for you. Where is your thinking holding you back from achieving something truly great? Maybe it's time for you to defy the odds and break through the barrier that is limiting you. Maybe you also need to adopt Adidas' slogan and say with them and with Roger Bannister and with thousands of 4-minute mile runners, impossible is nothing.